side on Mirage. Are you telling me this isn't nightmare fuel?
It really is, and it's so fitting that it's back to where it all began, right? For Apeks, yeah, they are haunted by that nightmare, by the memory of the 0-13 opener. There we go. Nearly nailed it. The FURIA on the other side, it's a story of redemption and one where they dished out an 11-0 second half earlier on. And so let's see who's got what it takes for this third map. FURIA are certainly fired up, giving us a hell of a lot more as this series has gone on. They're in it for the long haul. And this is not a bad way for it to start. Now, Apeks do have nice room in middle, but it might not matter if you never make it past Cave. They lose another life in lieu of those dual Berettas trying to chase down at Serato. And with that not finding its footing, what is the option here? Apeks kind of have to wrap this B site, but 3 players still reside here for the FURIA squad. So at best, this is an even odds bout.
Oh, and Yuri's going to make sure to just take it away one step further. P250 going dry. The bomb carrier is able to reveal himself on ramp. Coming forward with 2 kills is Stiko, and that's at the same time that Nock reopens this bomb site. Beautifully done here between the two of them. This is a 2 versus 5, and they've evened it to the 2v2. Now, they've lost track of where exactly the remaining FURIA members are at, but Stiko again! Just a clean USP shot to the forehead. Here comes Fallen. Oh, and he gets canceled out. Take a bow, Stiko. 4 frags in the pistol. When it felt like Bomb was stranded on the ramp, he takes matters into his own hands.
And there's something to be said for how proficient Stiko's been in the pistol rounds across this series, right? On Inferno, he opened both of Apex's pistols with triple kills. This time, it's one step further. It's a 4K to pull back that 2v5 that looked so dire. The round looked done, but Stiko offers up a masterclass in these pistol rounds. And so that's going to set Apeks off on the right foot. Serato, eat your heart out. That 2K over in Cave, worthless for FURIA.
Gonna try to dismantle this USP setup. Art jumping to the box. Yeah, he got hurt out.
He's got a Zeus.
Oh, he's also got a chest full of 9mm, Harry.
And they both suck.
Yes. Yes, this is true.
So for the remainder of these USPs, you know, you got the flash on Serato. You're going to try and do something here, which I guess is pretty exciting.
Yeah, because you're kind of paid to. You have to. You can't just give up. And Tatsunito's going to just farm with the MAC-10 inside of the bomb site. That goes about as well as you'd expect it to. A flash with 3 USPs ain't jack. Diddly squad. Team kill from Jacob. No big deal. Poor Nock hits the ground. Phenomenal first half on Mirage from Nock as well. Just want to say it one more time. Shout out to the 15-0. Really had us thinking that game was in the bag.
Had us going in the first half, quite literally.
Yep. Honestly, this whole series has just kind of had me feeling so smug.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know which way I'm leaning at all. It's like, honestly, roll a dice, pick a number. If it's even or odd, that's who's winning. Sen's going to try and run it out through middle. There was that lurk smoke thrown over. I love that. It just kind of lowers the amount of impact the FURIA can hope to find if they were to go for these mid-fights. And so it gives you a real avenue. It denies the heaven climb up in the same vein. And so you know these players on lane are that much safer. Art's even spam there, and they hear that, so they know that he was trying to make a move out through the cave. And so look at what these few pieces of util over in mid have given Apeks. They've taken away the red room. And with that, they can really manipulate these rotates as FURIA look to attempt them.
Taking a quick look into the middle of the map, but at this point, red room's already been foregone. Deep CT peek, Jacob trying to get the double off the Galil. Will sense his positioning, catch FURIA off guard. Oh, I can't believe he gets away with that. Tatsunito was just about to get held on the smoke. He gets 2 instead. He was about to be held. The player on the box looks towards the cave entrance. I don't know why. Concerned with maybe a ramp walk up because his teammate nearby says, I don't have you fully. But if he holds that smoke for half a second longer, he's got Tatsunito dead to rights.
Yeah,
what
that's
a round for the Macedonian to rob away.
That's really heartbreaking for FURIA. And yeah, you're dead on. I don't know what causes it, right? Because he did have a teammate there kind of holding from the short side for the ramp walk-up, but I don't know if when those kills came in from red, maybe he just looks away for a second, and so he says, like, you got to care the site, you got to care the walk-up, and that one moment of hesitation, that one check the other way is right as Hatsunito walks on in. Apeks with a third, and so once more, as has been the case across all of these maps so far in this series, it's looking like a slow start from FURIA. But that wasn't enough to stop them on Mirage. So this time, Apeks have got to be damn near, you know, they got to be ruthless in how they approach this one. No room for error. You want to take it as clean as you can, and you want to keep FURIA on the back foot where you have them right now for as long as possible.
Oh, shame we don't get to see that Tatsunito smoke walkout just because it was so egregious. It's one of those moves where it's like, well, if I don't do this now, we're going to lose regardless. Throws caution to the wind, comes through with the double kill on top of it, right? To go peeking into the short smoke and just spam away a second, that's when things get illegal. Early nade damage, but a boost on elbow unravels the jump up, and now Art's feeling pretty stranded at this point. A ton of damage that goes back the other way, and a good amount of map control still held on by FURIA at the bottom of middle, so much so that it looks like Art is feeling as though he can go towards lane, but Sense, no way, just wins the duel close smoke. Dude, Apeks, like smoke criminals in multiple rounds at this point. They've got 4 players wounded, but it's a 5v3 nonetheless.
That mid-adjustment over the boost was a thing of beauty as well, because they actually missed the Molotov that denies the heaven jump up, and so in response to that, Jacob assembles that boost quickly and is able to snuff out, I think it was K Serato as he was jumping up to go and fight the lane. That could have been a huge issue if they weren't able to stem that. Taking these fights in a cave is wild. Yuri's been given a double. Right now, Apeks don't know the whereabouts of this other player. However, now they learn. Now they learn the awkward truth. This whole time, they've been walking into a double stack over at B. And so FURIA, if this play had ended up on A, you know, a couple of kills ago, they would have never even attempted this round. But because they battle it back into an even odds bout, thanks to some swings through the cave, they want to give this one a try. And they've got a kit on Yuri, so a couple of extra seconds and a few flashbangs. Let's see if they can manage it.
Jacob keeping his head down beneath Temple. Stiko a little further back. Definitely the guarantee on Donut. CT swing wide, and Jacob doesn't post a follow-up frag. From start to finish, this 2v5 has been separate engagements, one after another. The Apeks players fall, and Stiko, he's going to have to peek at some point, goes out wide, and they pull this off. 2v5, that adamant push into the cave, not once, but twice. And then the walk up from ramp. I mean, this is a bit of a throw, if you ask me. Apeks, I'm trying to figure out maybe where that stack is at. But after so beautifully piecing together this advantage, after stuffing the lane peak from Art, and this one on the A play, look how easy they make this for Yuri. The flash didn't find him. The first player didn't have a damn chance. I think FURIA know maybe that. You run that back 10 times, they win it maybe twice.
Yeah, that's actually, I fully, wow, we'll revisit this in a second because it's an instant pop out through mid. Once again, this lurk smoke in, but barreling through it is Art. That's what he's known for. They're the sorts of plays that this guy likes to make. In-your-face Counter-Strike, W held down, not respecting the lurk smoke in mid. And Apeks paid the price, and it is quite the heavy toll. A 3v5 immediately. And a slowdown called. They now have to wait and see. They have to kind of hope that FURIA overextend here in these next few dud seconds. But if that doesn't happen, you've got to be the one to make a move. And the moves being made are not fruitful for Apeks. This round has crumbled to dust before their very eyes. And it's all on the back of that smoke walk down in mid.
They dodge any potential threat here from Stiko as well. Definitely not fruitful, Harry. Looking more like legumes.
I mean, they have been beat in this round, haven't they? Just absolutely ruined.
Yeah, that they have. It's been pretty nuts. Stiko, no follow through, nothing to pull on, nobody giving him a glance. Content to sit back. And I feel like FURIA, after learning over 2 maps how quickly things could spiral out of control. I don't want to see mistakes. You know, that 2v5 will come back to haunt Apeks in this first set of 12.
Yeah, the thing that, so like revisiting that moment as well, because it is going to stand out. It is going to really shape how this first half plays out. Man, I think, if anything, FURIA were actually looking to save when they doubled up in cave like that. And it's the fact that they never learnt about Yuri until that third player went swinging up through the ramp. Up until then, they thought they were kind of, you know, facing the demon they know, essentially, right? The one guy in cave, they wanted to trade him and then follow through with the B play with numbers. And when that isn't happening and then they learn about the third, it's like, that's your moment of clarity, right? That's where it all becomes so clear. And you start thinking, oh God, we've like actually thrown this round away.
Yes.
But up until that moment, everyone was on the same page as to why they were doing what they were doing. It all kind of made sense in the eyes of Apeks, but they don't have all the info like we do. They didn't know about the presence of that second man.
It was very clear that even though, you know, sometimes you can just kind of point to one glaringly obvious mistake from a single player who kind of goes on his own and makes a crucial error. This was everybody on Apeks signing up to fail together, right? One after another walking deep into the cave. That walk-up ramp, I feel like, was activated. Make sure he can't get over towards the A site to lose that duel, to give away the 2v5. They're all to blame. And with that 2v5 goes their early momentum. Apeks had gotten off to yet another hot start, 3-0 to now pistols in round 6 for at least Satsunito and Jacob. Art and Serato have been tethering quite nicely in middle, definitely challenging down to elbow, at times climbing up into lane. We haven't seen the early A-hit, which could definitely be queued up here by Stiko. Fallen will eventually approach. You know, all three maps, Fallen has started pretty quiet. 0x. Whether that's 8 or 5 rounds. Now currently 3. But they could boost green and he'll never see this. Luckily for him, his teammates are picking up scalps elsewhere on the map. That's an elbow frag. That's a deep pocket kill. So while Fallen misses a shot and loses the A site, there's no real utility here, barring the single smoke on Knock, who has bomb outside of B. You better hope this A hit sells it hook, line, and sinker, because if B does not get cleared, there's no way they win this round.
Yeah, they're in a weird spot here. So basically, Stiko is going to go all the way back and senses to try and like keep the illusion that they're still fighting a little bit for this A site. So he lobs out a little bit of utility just to try and keep them there that much longer. Stiko knows he doesn't really have the time to go the safe route, which would be all the way back through T-spawn, but he's at least cleared out middle to kind of catch his bearings and know that FURIA aren't watching this portion of the map. The scary thing about mid is that can change in an instant, right? After a while, with things being this quiet, FURIA might want to peek this window, and if they catch anyone jumping up, that would be a disaster. Instead, they just start shuffling bodies back over towards B. Serato found immediately. The rest of the gang will get here in time, and smoke spam goes their way to thin the numbers of Apeks. Sense is trying to make some room, trying to take some room, but gets locked out of the round, and now it's left on Nork, and he is run at. That's the danger. When you don't have the space, when you lose that long fight, you are screwed. And now they're spamming bodies. This is a FURIA that is fired up.
This is a ferocious FURIA at the moment, because honestly, when that Molotov hits middle pocket, you could see the indecision of FURIA just come to an end, and they decide to head over to that B site, starting to stampede in through dark. It feels like if, you know, they wanted to sell that, if they really wanted B to be understaffed, it would have needed something else from Sense. Just one little step further from A. Sense did a good job of at least getting the donut frag. Stiko cleared out cave, which made this bomb plant possible, but, you know, Lady Luck graces Yuri with the smoke spam. A deep peek from Sense gets him nothing. And then the retake is just an inevitability. So we're all tied up as fast as can be. 3 rounds apiece. Apeks in with Tech 9s. AK for Jacob if he wants to go God mode. He's hoping for that pretty consistent bottom mid presence we've seen out of FURIA, the Serato Art duo. They opt not to do it this time. Far more passive and good. Get out of that lane, that range of lethality of Apex's Tech 9s. Lean it a little further back. You know, Cello really the only player at risk of this, and once that Tech 9 rattles off, he knows better. He concedes, sits back with Yuri and with Art, who decides to shuffle back over towards red. No eyes in mid for the time being. Fallen pushing the op up into Donut. Now this, this is a very swarmable position for the Pistols, who have actually managed to cross into red.
Yeah, even this is awkward, because if the info gets passed along, Fulham will have definitely said, like, I haven't had it the whole time, but still Art's taken his eyes off of it, right? He didn't get contact in red for long enough that he somewhat discounted this. He's at least put attention back on it, and he just saw the shadow, so he knows they've taken the red room. Fallen now is to worry about a cross back from red, so he doesn't want to hang out in the donut. He'll look to up and leave, put a bit of a distance between himself and that position. But this gives Jacob a window to creep through the spawn. And even though FURIA are aware of this, he's putting a lot of pressure on Fallen. Hey, Serato back at main will need to lend a helping hand. They don't know about him yet, but they spot him out and Jacob finds it. Double tap to secure the 3v3.
Yuri's Molotov bounces off box, so it's an easy flee from the bomb site. Tatsunito hands on an op now. A second AK also procured. Apeks, thanks to Jacob, have given themselves a real chance to get into this lead once more. Op shot lands on Tatsunito, down to 30 health. Jacob on green, strong position to lock in Temple. He will not waste the opportunity, coming through with another frag, but it's Cello who's here to make the difference. Sense 6 on a measly 6 HP. And with that tap on bomb, there's no bite. He leans back, he clutches out. A single AK, a single chance, and Jacob makes the most of it.
That is monumental. The one that got away, the guy that slipped through the back lines of FURIA like a hot knife through butter. Jacob destroys them on that flank through red, and that is a round that FURIA will not be forgetting anytime soon. You could feel the pressure that Fallen was under. He knew that at no moment was he safe to fall back. He kind of gets stuck out in no man's land, and he just has to hope, he just has to pray that he picks the right fight, and picking a fight with Jacob was not the right choice. Boost up in mid, Jacob keen to get involved again, and this time it's Serato on the receiving end of it.
I think that boost has gotten a lot of value out for Apeks. They've caught in players going towards boxes. And this man advantage extends for at least a moment. Art on a full retreat has to go. Can't stick around, can't afford to die, but simultaneously Cello takes it to the bottom of the ramp, and there it goes back to the even keel. Knock disengaging from the B site. This is a far, wide open run from Stiko through A with no resistance. And if the bomb carrier comes, that's a plant guaranteed, unless Art, who is now swapped over to the A1S, can do something here from Donut.
Yeah, they'll know the whole time that Donut is a possibility, right? But it doesn't stop the fact that Art can still complicate this round. If he wins this fight straight up, he goes charging out, but he won't find it. And on the back of that kill going the way of Apeks, with them already having a player entrenched all the way through the spawn, this is a round FURIA can't even justify attempting. And it gets a little sad there. Fallen kind of rotates over towards B because he wants to drop that smoke in the double doors just to seal Cello's kind of life, right? Just to keep him in the round after he offers up that valiant double kill on the banana push. But in doing so, it leaves a bit of a gap. It leaves a bit of a hole. And Apeks are very, very good at finding those gaps and exploiting them. We've seen it now in the last 2 rounds back to back. It was Jacob initially with that push through red. And now I think, it was Stiko with that creep all the way up and through A.
I love when Stiko's feeling a game. I like when he feels as though his initiative is the right one. And, maybe not always the best aimer in the game, but kind of like a Crimbo in a lesser degree, right? I'll take Stiko in a clutch. I'll take Stiko on his own, just kind of operating solo, cutting through a defense when there is a gap to be exploited. Decision-making, I don't doubt him. I think this round here, just, locking in an easy A site because he sensed that it was wide for the taking, and he was dead on, taking Apeks to that 5-3 lead. It's just nice to have Stiko back in the server. I think he brings an X factor to a team. But he has to be your 5th best player. I think that's something Maui Snake said once upon a time, right? You cannot have a team where he is the 4th or 3rd. He has to be your 5th. But he does bring something unique to the table. A real professional at that.
I mean, like you say, he's just got that kind of killer instinct, the initiative in spade. Not afraid to try and take the space and have that read of the game that he felt like, A was open, that they were over-rotating on the back of these B fights.
He understands the value in sacrifice. Like the Aztecs.
Very applicable. Here we go. Art with the CZ in middle, leaves Fallen here on the AWP, and he'll nail the shot to Jacob. That's a real, sigh of relief moment here. Jacob's been constantly harassing them over in mid, so often good for a lot of impact on the back of these mid fights, but this time it's the one and done, and Fallen up and leaves on the AWP, keeping it mobile, making it really hard for Apeks to guess how they can dodge this AWP. Kacerato will get cleared here. Stiko, wise to the fact that someone might be hidden that corner. This is potentially awkward routing for Nork. He's got Cello nearby on the ramp, but he can even hear him moving. Right there, I think Stiko, on the back of hearing these rotates through red, is called for a bit of a slowdown. They still have a minute to play with. Don't get caught up in the chaos of this round. They're going to regroup and try and hit B. Nork's made his presence known, but Stiko's going to get here in good time. And so right now, FURIA just have to sit back and wait for the rest of the gang to join up with Cello.
Stiko has once more opened up a bomb site. Didn't let his guard down, cleared his corners accordingly. Finding Kacerato was huge. That nade nearly knocking 2 out of the round. Nock with a warning of what's to come. Another frag to be thrown, but it goes out a little early. Nock, you cannot afford to get peeled off this bomb site, and so CTs concede. Too much to lose with the double AK op. This is Stiko opening up the possibility of Nock's ramp walkout. Value from Stiko yet again. And if he can clear them of their guns, I mean, they didn't go for this retake because all they want are these weapons, but the Shadow gives it away. Fallen's gonna close it. That's 3 up for FURIA, but 6 rounds Apeks.
Yeah, I think it would have been very, very easy to get caught up in the chaos of that round, right? Like with Fallen rotating around like a madman on the AWP, with an early kill on the back of the CZ in mid, kind of chaos over towards B with the AWP ringing out, and the only thing that felt like it was going your way was that Stiko had all this room over towards A, but they call a real slowdown, just that moment of silence. They wait and see how FURIA adjust. And that gives them the window to kind of make that actually a very easy round for themselves in spite of the man disadvantage. Oh, felt like Sense had that on a platter, but they still get their kill out of mid. One way or another, maybe even 2. That molly just dodged from Art. But he's left so wounded as the sole carer of the A bomb site.
Total disrespect to the elbow Molotov, the front one. They just jump over. Oh,
any more of those, Cello?
Austin. Jacob returns the favor, but knowing that it wasn't Cello, that's 2 CTs confirmed in red. There is, in fact, a third. Art coming over from the spawn. Jacob looking to lock horns, but Cello just keeps hitting headshots. They'll smoke off red room. Bomb needs to be retrieved, but look at this deep push from Nock. Fallen doesn't know it, but he is absolutely surrounded.
There is a world where he heard that. And he's certainly going to hear the bomb plant, so they'll know where this is looking to end up. This is more Stiko like playing out at his kind of lonesome, right? Like trying to restrict the map. But he gets spotted. The element of surprise now gone. However, the next guy to face him would be Art in the red room. And he's so low on health. Stiko walking in. Having to check a lot, but he will spot Art tucked into the corner. There's Cello with the trade at least. Fallen rains out from the cave. They didn't know he was in there. They've learned about him the hard way. Sassanito in the 1v2. Can he do this? First man in up the short side makes it look easy. And the missed shot from Fallen costs FURIA dearly. The attempt there at that 2vx from the FURIA squad, and it so nearly comes up with some great shots from Cello in mid. And a nail biter from Fallen that just misses its mark, sees Sassanito close out the 1v2 to keep these rounds coming up in favor of Apeks. They're now on to 4 in a row.
Feel bad for Art in this instance, just trying to tuck into that corner deep CT. It's one of those spots where he thinks, oh, this lurk is coming? Well, I'm going to hide in this corner and I'll be good. In reality, you're fully exposed, brother. Nobody hides in that corner, and he's never hid in that corner, but he had to in that moment, and he thought he'd get away, and instead his entire right side is just exposed. It's an easy frag that comes back to haunt the bomb site. Yes, it still banks on the Tatsunito 1v2. But Art just kind of ends up looking foolish, right? At the end of the day, swing on the guy in red. Stiko is working with such little health, but again, just being a nuisance, doing his own thing, operating on his own all around A. Deep through red again. Jacob's going to find timing. CT stomping over. They've lost track of middle far too many times for my liking. Jacob here's another one coming. It's an op of Fallen to try to keep him pinned. Meanwhile, A site's crumbling. and Fallen doomed. Apeks, even with that round they threw, even with that 5v2 that slipped away, they are looking to post an 8-round half and potentially even 9.
Yeah, man, like Stiko is just the absolute mastermind of this game right now. You know, like, sure, he's not had like a super flashy clutch like the Satsanito 1v2, but the amount that he is manipulating the setup of FURIA, he is single-handedly pushing and pulling them around the map on his say-so. He is the puppet master of this game right now. And he's got FURIA dancing every step of the way. It's insane the amount that he's doing as one guy left to his own devices, and he can feel the impact he's having. Playing with incredible confidence. And so for once, right, when they don't have this opening fight go their way, when the lane fight looks dire, Stiko might just have to come back and rejoin the pack. There's not much of a pack left to rejoin anymore.
Still a small chance at the 3v5 with the cave fight going on. Climb up from Quesarado could, at a moment's notice, get punished. There's smoke on elbow and on lane. And as it starts to fade, FURIA, so does their forward stance. It's going to be Nock looking for his 3rd kill of the map. But they may not give him much. No need for Cello to really take this swing, to move whatsoever. Smoke off towards Donut. Again, this constantly looming threat of the Red Room split. And sure enough, who else? It's Stiko.
And he hears this. That one's free. What? That's nice and easy for him. Fallen walks into his crosshair. Stiko, once again, he's let off the rip. He knows that he's in such a good spot. Doesn't necessarily have to go back and fight these B players. Instead, he'll just smoke it off and deny this point of rotation.
Nice. A real indication of the threat that they think exists in Donut, and with good reason. Frag grenade opens the smoke. Cello gonna keep the pressure high. Donut player's dead, and the Tech-9 rips back to the A site. Here's the chase out of Yuri. 1v1 to close out the half, to give Apeks 9 or FURIA 4 up though. Hands no longer busy, and he's not gonna waste his chance. Nock ends this half with a final frag and a 6-round lead for Apeks. 4-1 in opening duels is Jacob, but more notably, it's gotta be Stiko, the absolute closer throughout this first half of Map 3. Ancient became Apex's playground because he was finagling all sorts of openings, whether that was finding lurks through Red Room or just taking over A site with no contest. Stiko didn't skip steps, and for that reason, Apeks can skip stones tomorrow when they potentially move forward. All they need 4 more rounds, Harry. That's it. That's all that's between them and a matchup versus Big. I would say quick day in the office, but this one actually has been grueling, and it's featured comebacks every time.
Is he going to start the pistol like he did this whole first half with just getting in behind them and causing chaos? He's going to have to. Everyone falls in the blink of an eye, and they're ready for Stiko this time. They lock him out of it. Satsanito on the dualies, can't rein them in. And so it's FURIA barreling up through the Red Room. That's how they find a pistol, and that's how they're going to look to recover in this second half. Still a long ways to go. But at least you won't have to worry as much about Stiko just uprooting every game plan you might have.
And so it begins, huh? The comeback begins again. 3rd time's the charm. Well, the 2nd time actually was already. If y'all are just joining us for this deciding map, it was a flawless CT side out of FURIA on their map pick of Mirage after being down 10-2. Doing it perfectly. Came off of the back of Fallen's opping off of Quesorado, who unfortunately has been absent this map. Kind of a flash of Inferno yet again.
You hope he can get switched back online, right? Because you feel like even though FURIA have been a bit of a second half merchant throughout this series, it's not going to happen. The comeback should never happen with Quesorado being a little sleepy. And so his comeback is one that we're going to have to keep a keen eye on here. They will need him at the 11th hour if they want to try and snatch this one away. For now, the rest of the gang are able to make up for it. And at least we're getting numbers out of guys like Art, who was entirely absent on that previous map of Mirage. Up against the pistols here, they were hoping to take it cleanly. Might not be the case now. They lose that first man in, but the rest of the kills go their way. And so FURIA, they do find that conversion, and only now do they have the rifles to worry about.
There's still a question mark as well looming above Nox's head. Right now, coming into the 3rd map, is the highest rated player for Apeks in the series, closely followed by Stiko, who in contrast on Ancient, has just been leaps and bounds above. Will the op be a feature of this CT side? For now, it's going to be Nox on a rifle. A healthy amount of utility. Jacob smoked off top mid.
Yeah, 2 smokes used though. And then 1 thrown has that lurk smoke out through middle as well. That will have some pretty resounding implications here, leaving them with just 2 smokes when they decide to get this exec going. And that means that, you know, if you're Art trying to creep out through middle and you've got one of these smokes, you can't really use it to like smoke off the donut and get room over at red, because you might need it later on. So that actually kind of stifles the mid-aggression somewhat. One of those smokes goes out now up into the Red Room. And so a lot of util burnt through early on, and quite critically, just more than you needed to. Still, they get what they wanted over in mid. They get this route up onto the lane, and they deny any control to Apeks on this side of the map. Right now, Apeks are going to have to play very reactive Counter-Strike, and that's not the Counter-Strike you want to play. So to try and remedy that, we're going to see this double push into main. Apeks are slowly but surely piecing together that this has to be the B play. They're going to learn that, but it might be too late as Art and Yuri open up. Nork boxed in a corner. You said he's going to step up, but no love found here over on B. The flash wrecks him, and this round will not belong to Apeks. FURIA steal it, and they take it convincingly.
All right, man, here we have it. A sad reality. Stiko and Jacob, the 2 best performers for Apeks, 1 solo holding A, the other solo holding mid, just banking on this triple stack B site to hold the defense. Hell, maybe soften up the numbers, maybe get a kill. But instead, Stiko and Jacob are forced into a save because the B site just crumbles with 0 resistance. So we're going to need something out of the players of this setup. Whether that's a little more active inside of cave or down ramp perhaps, some kind of a fight. But sitting in bomb site like that, just waiting for utility to rain on top of them, that one looked flat. That was a non-existent defense that opens the door for FURIA to convert. A couple M4s to be held on to. Jacob taking one to the face, but falling away. we will have those M4s saved. 2 rifles for Apeks in the follow-up. And maybe that's going to, serve as freedom to utilize them a little more so. But, Cello just prancing up the ramp like it's nothing to clear out the last player and knock. It felt like the utility actually just wins the round from FURIA. And we had seen exec after exec on the A site of Mirage. That T side just didn't open. Didn't open at all. This time, grenades set a beautiful precedent and make the job so easy for the Brazilians.
Yeah, I mean, FURIA actually have really good util usage to take this lane control in the first half. And the few times we saw them attempt it, Yuri especially is kind of a standout note there, being the guy to push down. Banana was lobbing in a lot of the util to try and clear these closer angles. So we're going to need to see that same sort of gumption out of Apeks here. They won't have a chance to do that now, as this is a low buy round around the saved guns. They are lacking in utility.
One contrast to the previous setup, they can go for it even with lesser utils. Just get inside of the cave at the very least. It's the double MP9 there. And then they free up Stiko to come and join them, so afforded a 4-player stack, adding an extra member in the previous round. Satsanito yet to pull the trigger here, but the encroaching tease can be felt, and down the ramp goes Sense. Again, freed up to take a risk, not wanting to just deal with what feels like the inevitable execute. Satsanito, well, he could go on the chase. Stiko spamming the wood wall, opens it up wonderfully. Satsanito misses his chance. He could just disengage, but never mind, the player back behind him and Fallen with bomb.
Yeah, wait. This is kind of crazy. Fallen with the bomb. I mean, at least the rest of the guys are doing a great job of pulling the rotates over the way, and so at least that's something. You're not going to lose this round of having the bomb taken away. One man still remains over here at B. But you would just never expect this as Apeks. You would never expect such a quick retake of this B site from FURIA after they start barreling out mid into Donut with as little as 30 seconds left. So yeah, it does catch them by surprise.
I love that. Fallen sitting with bomb by doors. I mean, if you've got a player bottom doors and you've already killed the one ramp rush that was Sense, what you do is just knowing cave is probably held by this forward positioning, which they're absolutely right in expecting. Drop 2 players off of Xbox into middle. Look what happens. Total magnet situation where Satsanito goes chasing thinking he's the hero of the round. Little does he realize his death is what opens up FURIA's win with only 8 seconds left. So beautiful call from Fallen. Sat back at ramp, just calm, right? A nice, calm play that sets FURIA up wonderfully to close the gap.
And they really are closing it. I mean, there's something to be said for the resilience that they've demonstrated across this series, right? Even thinking all the way back to the start of the day when we had Inferno, it looked dismal. It looked like they were going to get wrecked with no say in the matter, no chance to even kind of warm into the game individually. Yet that 1v2 clutch from Fallen, and suddenly you were even believing on the first map. Then they actually complete the comeback on Mirage. So they're not doubting their ability to claw these games back right now, FURIA. And that's scary if you're Apeks, because fresh in your mind is the results of the Mirage game prior. Is the results of that 11-0 streak that FURIA went on to close out that map. And now's not a time for nerves. This was meant to be easy. That's what you were telling yourselves. You felt leaps and bounds ahead of FURIA. Stiko is living in their heads rent-free. But now his debts have caught up with him.
And he's been trying to play this A site pretty open. He was afforded a lot of space in Donut on the first gun round. This time, though, they do creep out onto the green boost while he was gone. He's got Nock coming over with the AUG, but Nock's only got 3 kills on this map. He hears the utility. Jump peeks the entrance of A. Stiko gonna get charged down. Queserado's forward positioning, because of that free green boost, just tears through the initial 2 inside of Donut. Satsanito's quick play in response, and nicely done. That's the power of the AUG. Scoped in on the bullet holes. That's not the edge of a smoke, that's the center of it. And he gets vision on the bomb plant, denies it, and pushes this back 3v3.
This is awkward. Cello's got to start moving, right? That's kind of what FURIA are waiting on now, but he's so far away with 30 seconds left. He's embarking on this big old flank, and they are waiting, they are praying that he can be the solution, but he's just taking too long. And so as he looks to come in, this is going to be left really down to the wire. Instead, Yuri's gifted a kill out through Temple. They still need to get this bomb back. They've still got to get it planted, and Apeks are just playing to deny, but they lose CT. A route to plant as CT is open. Tatanito swinging out through Donut. Can't wrestle with the M4, and will get beat down by that flank out of Cello.
Damn, man, another one from FURIA where they just chill for yet another second. Feels like Apeks are frazzled. Apeks trying to make moves. Never at any point did they suspect that there could have been that top mid flank. And here it is, that little vision, right? Nasty AUG abusers. They know what they're up to. Poor Nock, though, is back exposed. And Tatsunito nearly, but a nice supportive hand from Cello, not only to clear out CT on the flank, and okay, he's letting him know. He's letting him know what's up. There's no doubt in my mind at this point that FURIA feel the comeback is on. Why not? You've proven you can do it all night long. And we are still waiting for impact from Sense and Nock. The all-powerful 15-0 knock on Mirage.
What a fall from grace that would be, right?
Nowhere to be found.
And sure, the 15-0 felt so significant when we were in that moment. It was like, man, this guy's untouchable. You can see why FURIA have their stipulations about him, why they worry about him so much. But it might all be for naught, and it might all be completely forgotten about, because when it really mattered, Nork had his worst map yet. He will be required. He will be needed. He is needed now. If Apeks want to hold on to this lead, they don't have a lot to work with in this round. They're trying to get a bit cheeky with the MP9 down in mid. Jacob had great results in middle on the T side, but you don't imagine he gets to repeat that here and now. Satsunito, this is a nice play, trying to gain some ground over at main. Usually you'd have another guy with him, but he does it solo, and Sakei Serato caught, back turned. Art doesn't adjust in time.
What's Art looking at?
Looks like he didn't expect him to follow through on the push. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's ballsy to go and attempt this solo with like the one hero gun in the round, but he will follow through with it. And so now, if you're Apeks, for the first time, you at least have great bearings on where FURIA are on the map and what they're capable of here. You've locked them out of A. You've denied this presence over at Elbow. The only thing you have to consider, they can drop through Heaven, but that's being watched by Nork. And so the three players over at B are here, prepared and ready for this site take. Now they just have to hold it back.
Cello's creep in, though. This could be critical. Him and Fallen a kill apiece. The attack out from Stiko to, again, just keep things sketchy, but at 20 seconds, the MP9 will swing, and Sense will end it. There's the answer. There's the pop-off. There's the answer back, because we've had Cello chirping. And Apeks makes sure to add at least one more to the board. Remember, that was a solo AK set up by Tatsunito, and I'm still scratching my head. Look at this frag. What is Art up to? Just staring at Elbow instead. I guess not, like you said, not anticipating that wide of a swing.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly still should have, right? Like, I'm making kind of excuses for him in that statement. Like,
I'd be more worried if I was him for the wide swing on A main than a second player pushing out from Elbow.
Yeah, 100%. And so that momentary lapse in judgment from FURIA, that momentary lapse from Art, that info gathered from the ballsy solo A main push, is that the deal breaker? Is that the one that brings Apeks right back? FURIA at least have money. They've at least got guns to fall back on. It's not over yet. It's not all for naught. Dark Smoke out in middle. Art trying to play around this, and he will put a stop to the aggression. Jacob locked out.
Fast A.
And the rest of the gang just explode out into this A site with the smoke down at CT. Nork has no say in the round. It's all on Stiko.
Cello deep inside of Temple. I mean, how the hell is Nock supposed to get him out of here? At any point, if Nock pushes forward, he's going to need a second CT to go clear Temple for him. But while bomb is not planted, there's a small chance that eventually the angle is found from CT spawn. It is open with no smoke, but he just remains adamant on watching for the Temple extension. Low HP planter instead. Art will take up the responsibility. Sense is going to get flashed through. Now they are just on the brink of this with still no bomb plant. They opt to go in on gunfights, and it's 3. Nock does catch Art. Cello able to answer, and he's going to have to do it all, but the Molotov does disrupt the positioning. Cello given a chance as they fall back.
Oh, good damage on the spray. You really don't fancy Cello's odds here. Wait, where's the bomb? Just off to the right-hand side there, so he's got to go and get that. 30 seconds, time is of the essence. Orb watching on a reposition around to Donut, and he goes walking right into it. Nork teed up to close that one out. And for Furia, all it takes is that one flashbang that sails in. They know the push was going to come on the back of it, but that puts the fear in them. It denies the bomb plant. The smokes have long since faded past that point. And so suddenly all these sight lines are open to Apeks. That slowdown on the A site gives a lot of room to the Apeks squad to poise themselves for that retake before the bomb's even planted.
A disrespectful disruption as they just decide to take it into their own hands, to swing out on those moments with Nock, again, just freed up from having to hold Temple. Sat there for 30 seconds, waiting, never given anything until he says, screw this, and Sense takes the initiative as the tip of the spear, pushing Furia into economic woes. What kind of a chance does Tatsunito take? With pistols in hand, they'll take a glance up into the B site. Majority numbers here for Apeks. A challenge for Stiko that's going to try to swarm forward, and sure enough, down he goes. An AK for K Serato. Is it too late though? 6 and 12. A flurry of movement out of Apeks into the CT spawn, but one of them won't fall for this. One sits back. Tatsunito plays the role of anchor this round.
Yeah, I heard 3 players rotating, so we got the info that everyone had just up and left B. And they should be ready, even though he heard 3 sets of feet, should be ready for someone to have doubled back with so much time elapsing. And this is where Jacob's actually doing a great job right now, kind of fanning out back through Donut, getting the info that this part of the map at least is clear. And so you're seeing a gradual lean of Apeks players around to the B site. Tatsunito in the right place at the right time. If he shuts down Fallen with this bomb crossing in, not even him to do it. And now they don't know about this corner player. Art thinks it's clear and ends up biting the bullet. K Serato spotted, and this one should be a nice, easy cleanup for Apeks. There's the backstab from Jacob, who started this clearing Donut, and that sees Apeks move onto match and series point. Now just 5 kills away from eliminating Furia from IEM Katowice in the play-in.
2 years in a row. Once at the hands of Mongols, and now with Mongols having beat them yesterday in that best of 1. Back-to-back rough starts for Furia on the line. And that timing in this round, when Tatsunito is just about to be cleared out by the 2 Furia members pushing in, it's the short push that serves up the distraction, that lets the guard go down, and that guarantees Tatsunito's frag, and that 12th. That map and series point now. A costly project in Furia, but one that slowly ramped up across last year. One that did end in a best of 5 victory over this very same team, more or less. And that end of year celebration could be a start of the year heartbreak yet again. A tale that Furia know too well, and one they want nothing to do with.
This one's nothing more than an explosion up through ramp. They get control of the site. Sense out from long, doing a lot of damage. They've got a player trapped in the cave, and Fallen and Cello get a killer piece. Cave player dead as well. So Furia feeling primed to win this round, however, giving away that kill. Art coming in on the backstab. Gives rise to the 2v3. It doesn't look like Apeks want to give this a go, and fair enough. Their money is on the line. They don't want to make this any easier for Furia than it has to be. And so saving, keeping that money in check, checking the balance here. They elect to play it safe, win this one in the long game. That's not going to work every day, just a flat play in towards B. They were given a lot of room. Apeks weren't really ready for just a rush up through the ramp. Ooh. All the kills come in, so it is a very damaging round to the money of Furia. Out of all the ways you could have lost a round if you're Apeks, that you remove every gun from play, you forced full reinvestments on a team that just don't have the money to do that. So the buy here for Furia is even worse than the one they had in the round prior. We're looking at Galils. We're looking at Mac 10s.
Oh, wow. Nasty tap from Fallen. Nasty pace out of FURIA to just get that one going. That was off of a Gary timeout as well, right? Coming through, leading the pace of FURIA up a tick. They have what it takes to do it yet again on the brink of defeat and elimination. Full investment out of Apeks for the most part. Utility exchanged up ramp. This pressure is definitely being felt, but it's not egregious. There's no big spams. Oh, not comfortable for Tatsunito trying to get ahead of the frag. Leading on Knock to hold this angle. Molotov will disassemble the boost, and Knock also takes off his position. So beautiful utility usage from FURIA to just dismantle both original setups.
You're dead on. It's great util, but the problem is they're not able to push on the back of it, right? This counter smoke goes in, and so now the last few dregs of the FURIA utility come out with still a minute to play with. If they want to use these smokes, they've got to go in now. And the short smoke hasn't even landed. Oh, it's actually for Cave, don't worry. But here we are. Nork holding the line down into the site. They've locked the Cave player out at least, but you've got to take some real estate here. Pushing through the smoke, that's the bomb plant denied. Satsunito with the backstab that might just define this game. Flushed out by Cello, sure. Gives way to the 2v2. Stiko now arriving, meets them on the short side. Damage done either which way, but it's FURIA to win that one out. And they didn't have reason to win that one. That is just a brawl. That is just a bloodbath over at B, and they're the ones dishing it out for a change. Double digits secured on what was essentially a low buy round after losing all 5 in the round prior. They flush out the Satsunito flank, and then they direct all their attention downrange onto short, knocking out Stiko and putting a stop to Jacob. They could actually do this.
I mean, they have to know how badly that one hurts. Both those players on short side having a duel versus a Galil and a Mac 10 with M4s. Both those players missing their chances. No headshots in those duels. And door swung wide open. Bomb, ticking on the back pillar. Tatsunito pushing through to stop it. Hands busy on the planter. Obviously forced away as the smoke faded short side. It was all looking good. All they had to do, win those duels. It came so close. And this is an interesting one. Knock comes through with the op buy. Jacob also on a gun. A couple pieces that could thrive here, and they're going to split them up.
Yeah, I mean, if Nork's bringing out the AWP and putting it all on the line, either he said, I'm going to make a play, or essentially he's going to kind of float around, locking down some more passive areas, and then look to save if they don't leave the impact in this round. And he will get given a fight here. They will find this AWP the hard way. Nork rings out with a kill to Art.
You got to keep going. A one and done won't be enough with 3 unarmored pistols with no utility either, right? I think FURIA have done a good job of grouping up as a pack. Jacob's M4 comes wide, missed chance. Tatsunito does indeed have Kevlar, but Sense isn't going to be able to go grab it, doesn't need it. P250 makes enough of a difference, at least shaving Cello off the play. Stiko trying to go grab something in middle, whether it's a kill or a weapon, luckily is traded out by the Macedonian.
Oh, this is such an unenviable position. It's a 2v2, right? Every bone in your body thinks, yeah, surely they could, but they really need this AWP. And so that kind of decides it for them, right? They're a little out of position. They're a little late. They don't have the kit. It's not worth the risk. So they have to write this one off. And that means it's coming down to a one-round game. Either this is won in OT or it's closed right at the end of regulation. The full 24 rounds and maybe more needed to decide who will be heading out of IEM Katowice in the play-in.
Wipe that sweat from your brow. Focus in and try to think, what is the solution? Knock, I mean, posted at the right position, but it had to be more from the B defense. And this is where the M4 was, right? If the answer is you needed more from this B defense and the one rifle was there posted on short, then to me, the fault of this round falls on Jacob. A duel on ramp, on a wide swing, that peak, it could have been his. They'll go back down into the bottom of mid. Art just playing close smoke and for the most part given space. This is looking like an A-hit quick. It's looking like a faster tempo. And Knock is posted on an original angle, giving the opening kill. But Art has slid past, and they catch Tatsunito trying to come in from the lane. Can Knock flick? He sees a sliver, into the cover, back in with the repeak. That's what he needs. That's what they want, an initiative. And Stiko, well, he gets his, dropping bomb on CT lane. How can FURIA survive this one?
They're so split up, they're worlds apart. There shouldn't be a way back into this 2v4. It's going to take some monumental, heroic moments out of Keserato and Yuri if they want to do it. They've given it their all across this series, having to pull back every one of these games, but it might not be enough. It's just Yuri. And is he lagged out? Is that really how this is decided?
You're kidding me.
That is madness. That is heartbreak in its purest form. Oh my God. Have you ever seen anything like it? Unreal. And all that's left to do for him is die. And just like that, Apeks knock out FURIA, as though it wasn't heartbreaking enough that it's the full 24 rounds. It ends with a man dropping out. That's heartbreak in its purest form.
That's tragedy. That's unfair.
I'm sad.